can, I mean, I appreciate it's probably a little bit far back now, but I'm sure you can remember. Can you describe the feeling of the fight being waved off when it was waved off?
Yeah, look, obviously, any fight, once you put someone over, you're just like, stop it, ref, stop it, ref. You want them to stop it, and as soon as I seen Chris stumble, I thought, it's over. Let him carry on, I'll finish him regardless, you know what I mean? So, as soon as I seen him stumble that far off the first knockdown, the referee should have stopped it. Anybody else stumbles like that, they get stopped. The ref gave Chris massive like respect for his chin and durability and letting him go on. And then as soon as he goes again and then stumbles into the referee again, you've got to stop that second time round. And that's what's laughable about Chris blaming the referee now. I think if the referee let him go on a second time, he'd probably be sacked now or be put right down the list like John Lewis Dixon was it. So, not John Lewis Dixon, what's his name? Ian John Lewis. John Lewis Dixon was dead boxing, yeah. Yeah, like Ian John Lewis. So, but when you put a fighter over, you just basically, any fighter will tell you, they're just dying like, ref, stop it, ref. And as soon as you see the ref wave his arms off, it's just a joy. And Chris is trying to say, like, I didn't expect it and all that. What do you want me to celebrate? Like, I've just stopped a man who's never been stopped. And a man who I was told all week by 45 different media outlets, Chris has got a great chin. Basically, you can't hurt Chris. And Chris kind of told me himself, as Chris sat in front of me and the gloves are off and said, you can't hurt me, you're not faster than me, blah, blah, blah. How'd you beat me? And that was sitting at the gloves are off table. So I'll celebrate like that again when I beat him again. And, you know, you'll be like, why'd you celebrate like that? You've already done it to him. Because I'll celebrate stopping him again. And, you know, the celebration's just, I'll celebrate with my fans. You know, I had probably 19,000 fans in there who'd pay good money to go and watch me. I'll celebrate with them like that.
You think afterwards, you kind of, I think it was within about 15, 20 minutes, the post-mortem began, and it was, you know, people talking about the weight, people talking about the elbow. Is that just Chris trying to rationalise things of how things ended that night? Again,
I don't mean to, and I'll probably say it this time round, you know, like Terence Crawford just said at the end of his fight, I'm not comparing, but no excuses this time. Give Liam Smith the props he deserves. And that sounds like, I don't know, you can say big heads all you want, but I stopped Chris last time and it was the weight, the Conor Ben camp, did he overlook me? Then Chris has just come at the press conference to announce the rematch and didn't blame any one of them things, he blamed the referee. So it's like, how long are we going to keep going on excuses that I stopped him? Just say, look, you hit him with a good shot, he was kind of looking at the floor, the first shot that buzzed him. And I stopped him. Like, it's no, you know, it's not out of this world. Any fighter can be stopped, and Chris got stopped on that night.
So one of the things I wanted to talk to you about in this, obviously before the first fight, Chris was a favourite at the bookies. I think the general consensus was that he was the favourite going into it. So you had that underdog mentality and that kind of wanting to prove everybody wrong. But now you've knocked him out in spectacular fashion in 4 rounds. Is it going into this fight, is it that people have said, oh, well, it was this, it was that? Is that what fuels you for this?
Just, if you know, regardless, it's another fight at this stage of my career. It's another must-win for me. Every fight's a must-win now for me at this stage. I don't want to be taking losses in this stage of my career. So, you know, I'll train to the best of my own ability. But, yeah, results now, again, it'll be, like I told you, now what? Now what's the excuse this time? Just stop the excuses, give me the props I deserve for beating him and stopping him and then beating him again. However I beat him next time, you know, I'll beat him and I've beat him and I've stopped him. So, you know, just stop with the excuses. You know, Chris was weight trained, I elbowed him and all that. Just give me the credit I deserve. I've beat Chris and I've stopped Chris, and then, you know, I'll move on to bigger things.
We spoke about it here and we spoke about it just over there the last time I came up before the first fight, that you believed that you had the power to hurt him, to stop him. Now it's not belief, you've done it, it's fact. How does that change your mentality going into it at all, or does it?
It doesn't really change mine, because I knew that. It changes Chris's. Now, Chris has got to be changed. Chris can't take the risks he took last time because he knows I can hurt him. I know full well I could hurt him. I've hurt him before. Now, again, maybe not a head shot, but now I know I can hurt him in the head too. And now all you know I can hurt him in the head too. So Chris has got to change that air of invincibility that he's always prides himself on. He's not invincible no more. He can be knocked out. By the way, I had the same. You couldn't have convinced me I would be not dropped or stopped before I boxed Canelo. And that was my whole process going into the Canelo fight. I thought, well, he won't hurt me, and I'll keep pushing and pushing and pushing, and where he'll be that tired at the weight, getting back to 154, I'll get to Canelo late. Laugh now, hypothetically, it's laughable, but that was my mindset going into that fight, and you couldn't have changed me before it. Chris probably had that now, and especially probably had no way Smith's going to come up from 54 and hit me the head. So he's got that mindset now that he can't hit me now, so I can't take them risks, I can't make them mistakes that I've always made, because, you know, the cracks are in there now, the chinks are in the armour.
How did you feel at 160? I know you've boxed there before, but I think it's fair to say it's your biggest fight at the weight, and obviously the results speak for themselves, but you feel good in them?
Yeah, I felt good. That was my first fight at 160. Like, I know I've weighed in 159, but they were just like catch weight fights and whatever. That was my first camp that I've done testing, that I've done 160, like, you know, and I felt good. Before the fight, I feel a lot of people who had me at the underdog was people who thought I couldn't really compete with the big boys at 160. If that, you know, if the fight was made at 154 and we had both career 154s, I guarantee I'd be the favourite. I just think the stage of my career, people looked into a little bit too much, and also the weight. So once I knew I could compete with Chris at 160, I knew I'm good enough to beat Chris.
Obviously, we went round the houses a little bit, but we are here now for the rematch. Just obviously over the last 6 or 7 months, or however long it's been since the first fight, was it frustrating at all? Did it look as though it could go in a different direction?
It was not. The only frustration on my behalf was my injury. Like, there was no frustration that Conor Benn and Chris Eubank was linked, because they're always linked. They're always going to be linked. You know, Chris fought Conor Benn, so be it. I move on to where I was. So there was no frustration on my behalf. It was more just, my frustration was, I should be sitting here now talking about what's next for me, rather than this fight should be dead and buried now. I should have beat Chris Jr, but unfortunately I was injured. So, you know, we're here now, and I'm looking forward to September now, and I'll beat Chris September.
What do you make of him changing his trainer? I've obviously seen Bomac, Terence Crawford's trainer, added to the team.
It's just, is it another excuse ready to be lined up? Is it an excuse basically getting rid of Roy? So you half blaming Roy for the last fight too. Not ideal for anybody to join a new coach 4 or 5 weeks out from a huge fight that they've just lost. So look, I feel he's already got his excuses lined up. I do, and you know that if Chris wants to join a new coach, then so be it. But my point of view, as I said to Chris on the phone, you can have Terence in your corner as well. I feel it doesn't help you.
Okay, well, Liam, I'm going to ask you for one more thing, because the last one I did this, you were really, really good at it. I want you to look into that camera there, and I want you to tell Chris Eubank Jr. what's going to happen on September the 2nd.
Chris, make sure you turn up, no excuses, and I'll beat you again, I'll stop you again.
There you have it, simple as that. Liam Smith, thanks very much for having us down to the gym today. I do appreciate your time, and all the best on September the 2nd.
Thanks for that, thanks.